Lately, in preparation for this past Splatfest on Splatoon 3, I've been playing a lot of Splatoon 3, practicing, getting in and growing in my skills and all these things, and it has been a lot of fun. But as I've been playing it, something has happened. I've grown to appreciate the game on a deeper level. There's some really interesting life lessons that I've learned playing from Splatoon 3. So that being said, today on Geek Devotions, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 4 life lessons that I've gotten from Splatoon 3. Hello devoted geeks and welcome to Geek Devotions, the show from devoted geeks who are devoted to letting you know that you're loved. I'm Dallas. I'm so glad you've hit the play button today. If you're new to our show, we take geek pop culture items like movies, video games, comic books, and we use them to let people know love. So if you don't watch past this moment, know this: we love you, we care about you. There is a plan and a purpose for your life. Do not give up. As I said in my intro, I've been playing a lot of Splatoon 3. It's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun. I didn't expect to really grow to enjoy it as much as I have, but it has been an absolute joy playing it over the last month. But as I've been playing it, I've grown a lot, and I've seen some things in there that I think are great that I want to share with you. There are life lessons, and so today I have 4 life lessons from Splatoon 3. Actually, there's gonna be a bonus 5th one at the end that's really important, so make sure you guys stick around for the 5th life lesson. Lesson number 1, things are better when you communicate. In Splatoon, you're playing a 4-person team trying to cover an area with as much of your team's color as you possibly can. And the base game of itself, you're just kind of thrown in there with the 4 random people, and you don't have a way of really communicating them within the game itself. Now, you can kind of get an idea of some things, you can send some signals of going, hey, that hurt, or you're encouraging each other, and you can look at the map and you can see where people are. But being able to strategically go to certain places, target areas, it's really difficult. But playing Splatoon 3, one of the things I've learned is that if I could jump into a Discord server with my friends, or if you can use the Talk app that you have with a Nintendo, then it's so much easier because you're communicating with people. As geeks and nerds, we have a tendency to isolate ourselves and to do life by ourselves. And you can do that. It is possible to live a life and be pretty happy in isolation. But in a community mindset where you're communicating with people, where you're able to talk with people about life issues, about what you're going through, or maybe what they're going through, you're able to grow together and help each other and be far more successful at everything that's before us. There's a very old proverb that says essentially that without consultation, plans are frustrated, but with consultation, with many counselors, we can succeed. We need to have that mindset. We need to be willing to step out and talk with people, communicate with people. We need a community that we can talk with and grow together so we can be really successful in everything that's before us. Life lesson number 2, we need to be encouraging each other. The Splatoon community is really vast and really interesting. Throughout the entirety of the game, as you walk around in Splatville, you'll see these little signs above people's heads where people have made various art that highlight things they love about the game. And from what I've seen, it's really interesting because people tend to use them in various ways. Some people, they just do silly things. Some people, though, they're intentional about it. They're showing their encouragement for not just their team, not just for their team that they've picked for Splatfest, but for other people who are in the community who maybe are struggling or going through a hard time. This act of encouragement makes for a healthier community as a whole. And to be honest, we need more of this. We need to be more intentional about encouraging people around us. In the Bible, there's this passage in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24 through 25, that essentially says that we need to be consider how to stir each other up in love and good works. But we need to be intentional about that. We need to be intentionally thinking about, how can I encourage the people in front of me? How can I encourage the people who have come alongside me and are doing life with me, the people who I'm communicating with? How can I encourage them and stir them up, light a fire in them to love and to do good works? The 3rd life lesson I've learned is that everyone has a skill and everyone has a place. In Splatoon, there's a variety of weapons that you can get, and you from a roller to a paint bucket to dualies, all kinds of stuff. Every one of them operates a little bit differently. Everything functions in a different way. And what I've discovered is that every one of them is important. Every weapon has a role in the greater game as you work together as a team. Far too often there are people who feel like that the giftings they have are not worth having. They're worthless to the greater body, that nobody would care about them. And they feel less than because they feel like that what they have isn't as great as what somebody else has. But that's not the case. You have a gifting, you have a purpose, and we need you as a whole. There's a passage in 1 Corinthians chapter 12 that talks about being one body and how there are some people in a body that maybe they're a pinky, maybe they're a nose, maybe they're a tongue, maybe they're an eye. Everyone has a different role and a different purpose. Everyone is just as important as the next person. We need to have that mindset that we as an individual, we're important. But so is the person next to us. So are the people who come alongside us. Every one of us is important, and we need to encourage each other and protect each other all at the same time. The fourth life lesson I've learned is it takes work to get where you want to go, so don't give up. As I said, there are many different weapons in Splatoon, and when you pick up a new one, sometimes it feels daunting. You don't understand what's going on, but the more that you work with it, the more that you play with that weapon and you learn how it functions, the more proficient you become. In your life, there are giftings and things that you pick up. There are jobs that you can do. And at first, it may seem daunting because you don't understand what's in front of you. But the more you grow, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. In the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5, the Apostle Paul is talking to a young man named Timothy, and he's encouraging him. He's telling him not to forget the gifts that he's been given, the things that he has in his life, but he's told to practice them and to see them grow. The more that he operates in the giftings that are inside of him, the better that they will be, and the more they will grow and more effective they will be. So my encouragement to you guys with this life lesson is don't give up. There are things that are inside of you that are important. As I said, they're part of the greater body, and they can be refined and become much better the more that you are willing to step out in faith and work with them. And now it's time for our bonus fifth life lesson that I've learned from playing Splatoon 3, and that is simply this: we may all be different, but we are one team. See, the world of Splatoon is vast, and it's really very deep and kind of tragic at the same time. This is a post-apocalyptic game where humans have basically died off, and there are many different species, but two primary ones are the octolings and the inklings, people who are derived from octopuses and those who came from squids. In the first two games, the octopus groups are, well, they're bad guys, they're the evil ones, but there's a change that takes place at the end of the second game. That in this third game, for the first time, they're living together in harmony for the most part. There's still some out there that are a little crazy, but they're working together in harmony. In fact, when you build your character in Splatoon 3, you can choose to be an inkling or an octoling. The whole game that you're playing, this turf war thing, this is in remembrance of a big battle that took place years beforehand. But it's a matter of community. They're coming together to celebrate unity, to celebrate how they overcame adversity and became one together. And even within this, now that we have these octolings coming and join in to be part of the greater community, it is a mind shift for those in that community. But they have to remember, they are one. They're working together for one goal. There's no longer a separation between them. They are all Inktopolis individuals. Even with the Splatfest, where everyone chooses a side, there's some playful banter about things. You know, oh, you're Team Ganon, you're Team Zelda, whatever. But even amid that banter that takes place, everyone goes, we're all together. In the community as a whole, there are people who come together, and again, they're playfully banter about stuff, but they go, we're all people who love Splatoon. We're all playing this together, and this is a great thing. There are far too many people out there that have this mindset of isolation, especially within the church. There are people who have this mindset that, whoa, it's only got to be the Baptists, it's only got to be the Assembly of God, it's only got to be the Presbyterians. But we are, while we may be operating on different teams per se, we are a part of one team, and that is the body of Christ. In Galatians chapter 3, verse 28, it talks about how there is neither Jew nor Greek, and this was a part of a division that the early church was struggling with, because the first people who believed in Jesus were Jewish individuals, but then it spread to the Greeks and to the Gentiles. And there was a conversation about what needed to take place, how culture, how mindsets had changed. And the apostles had to come together and go, look, they are one together. And there are things that need to take place. Yes, there's some righteousness and some holiness issues that need to be handled, but working together, and we need to stop being divisive. So my encouragement for you guys with this fifth one is encourage each other, inspire each other. Some of you who are watching, you come from a Baptist background, Assembly of God background, a Presbyterian, all kinds of things. But we're on one mission. That is to tell the world about Jesus. Let people know they're loved and they're cared for, and that there is hope for them. And if we are fighting amongst each other, not in a playful way, playing Splatoon, playing baseball, whatever, but we're being demeaning and hurtful towards people, Nobody wants to be part of that. One of the things I've enjoyed about Splatoon, seeing the community as a whole, is everyone seems to be genuinely encouraging and loving towards each other. There's some idiots out there, sure. But for the most part, people have been fun. Whereas other gaming communities that are out there, people become jerks. It turns people away from wanting to be part of that. Nobody wants to play those games because of the toxic community. If Christians cannot work in harmony together and not be toxic, then how can we expect the world to want to be part of that? To be part of the body of Jesus Christ. Well, guys, that was your devotion for today. I hope it's encouraged you. I hope it's challenged you. If you're new to Geek Devotions, you're like, man, this was really fascinating. I've never seen this before. And maybe you are a believer. I want to encourage you guys, check all of our stuff. We're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check out Geek Devotions. We put out content all the time in various geek spaces. That being said, it's our question of the week time. You guys know how this is. We have a question. We want to hear from you in the comment section down below. And the question of the week is this. What games have inspired you? What games have you played that you've learned some important life lessons and it really has affected the way you see the world around you? Leave a comment down below. Let us know what that lesson was and what game that was. I do want to give a special thank you to all of our devoted Patreon geeks out there who have helped support us here at Geek Devotions on a monthly basis. Thanks to you guys, we are able to do what we do on a monthly basis with our podcast and our website and everything else. It's all because you guys are able to help us to do what we do. That being said, we want to extend an invitation to everybody. At the beginning of next month, we're doing a special event. We're doing a 40-hour live stream on our Twitch channel. And the point is to raise some funds so that we can take Geek Devotions to another level. We are looking to establish an official nonprofit status for Geek Devotions so that we can do things in a bit of a different way. It'll open some doors for us to do more, but we need help doing that. We have to raise a minimum of $5,000 to do that. So at the beginning of next month, and we'll have some more information come to you guys soon, we're doing a 40-hour live stream trying to raise the funds so we can take Geek Devotions to a next level so we can reach more people, letting them know they're loved, let them know that somebody cares about them, let them know that there is hope for them. All that being said, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, thank you for being a part of Geek Devotions. Thank you for being here with us. Check out our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just look for Geek Devotions. Don't forget our website, geekdevotions.com, where you can find devotions, podcasts, all kinds of great things. Until next time, stay devoted. Peace and love.